Hi guys, welcome to the new video of this language. As you all know by the title only what we're gonna discuss in this video, but let me very quickly give you the agenda for this video and what is the motto of this video. So in this video we will learn how to hack the system, and the motto of this video is not to like hack. Basically, it's the motto of video is to learn just basically the ethical hacking, not the black hat hacking. So by this video you will learn how to secure a system or how the things basically works, so how a hacker's mind works basically in the background. So we will discuss this, but before this let me discuss the command that is related to this video that's gonna help us to hack the system. The command name is the dd command. So dd command is work like a cp command only, but there are few differences, and the full form of dd, if you want to know, is like data duplication. Okay, and sometimes also known as disk destroyer. Why disk destroyer? There is a very great like why everyone knows dd as disk destroyer. I will explain you. So the difference between the cp and dd is dd command works like almost a cp command, but it will copy, you can say, the raw data, or you can say byte to byte. If you want to copy anything, then we will use the dd command. But what happened with the cp command is, with the cp command we can copy the file, one file, or the many multiple files, but we can't copy byte to byte things. That means we can copy files, but we can't copy the info or the metadata of the file, or I can say the info or metadata of the storage completely. That we can achieve by the dd command. So dd command can use to copy the raw data, hard disk, or the partitions basically. There are many use of dd command. Let's discuss them in detail by detail. Then we're gonna see the demo of hacking the things. The first use case of dd command is, if you want to copy, or you can say the backup, the boot partition. Now what is the use of this? Basically, as you all know, in Linux we have everything on slash boot, or everything inside a slash, that is equals to like C drive in the Windows. So let's say you want to take a backup of this C drive in Windows, exactly equals to backing up a slash drive, that is known as a backup of boot partition. So that you can't achieve by the CP, because byte by byte it will not copy with the CP. That's where we will use the dd command, the first use, very first use. The second use is the convert and copy basically. So while converting or by copying, dd command will convert the encoded things. Now what does it means is, there are multiple encoded criteria in the market. If you heard of ASCII standards, so it will convert this encoding first and then copy. And what is this ASCII? And there are many encoding what I can say is standards are there that we will discuss in upcoming videos. But just to overall understand, if you want to back up the boot partition, means basically you can understand C drive, then you will use dd command. And there are many more use, but let's see them in detail by detail. The syntax of dd command is very simple. dd options. So by default dd will read from standard input and gives the things on standard output. So let's see this. If I go to the terminal and if I write the dd command, see, whatever I will write, it will copy on the standard output itself. Let's say I'm giving this input from keyboard. Shri is my nickname. It will copy this, convert this in the background, and it copied in the background, and it will give us on a standard output when we send some signal. Let's say, now how to send a signal, as you all know, even though in cat command we see control D is the option. See what it copied, it given us on the output screen, and what it says is the two records are in and the one record is out. Both are converted as a single record, and how many bytes are there, multiple things it will give us. Now there is multiple options on dd. You can check with the man dd command, but few of the option I will tell you. First is bs, another is count. Bs means block size. So at once, how many bytes you want to read or write, that is defined by BS as an option. Count means you have to give number and maybe 1, 2, any number. So count will tell how many times, let's say I given the value count is equals to 2. So how many times I have to run this block basically. So let's say the by default BS value is 512 bytes, and let's say you have given something around 1024 bytes, okay, and the count is, let's say, 2. So at a one time, at a single time, it will read or write 1024 bytes, that it means by BS. But how many times you have to run this 1024? That is 2 times. That means first time it will read or write 1024 byte, that is 2 minus 1, because one time it's already done, remaining value is 1. Again one time it will read or write 1024. That's how it will work. So let me show it to you. I am writing dd yes, I will read only 1 byte, okay, and if I do this, see, it's reading 1 byte, and at its one time it's reading 1 byte, and total it read out the 6 bytes. How much time it took? Something like that. Let's say the count value is multiple now here, but I don't want the multiple count value, so count value is again, let's say, 1. That means read 1 byte only, but only a single time. See, what it read only is this S. Then it given us the output 10 record in, 10 record out, and it read only a 1 byte. That means read 1 byte only one time. Now what if I do the count 2? It will read 1 byte at a time, at a single time, and the count value gets 1. But count value still it's 1, then it will read 1 byte at a one time, but for 2 times. See, now the value is SH, and you can see here also is 2 bytes, something like that. It works. Now as we discuss the use, we can back up the boot partition, but how we can do this, because it's taking standard input and standard output from keyboard and showing on screen also. So if you want to do, there is an option in the dd command if and of. If means input file, from which file to take input, and of means don't give me output on terminal, store output in this file, okay. Now let's say if I do dd of is equals to zzz.txt, something like that. So I don't give an if, that means it's taking input from the standard input, that is keyboard. And if I do control D, and if I show you, here is somewhere the file is, before this file is not here, it's just created out. And if I do cat z.txt, see, it given in this way. So that's how we can use if and of. Now the main use of dd command is backup a partition, backup a boot partition, or you can also create a copy of hard disk. And inside hard disk, I already told you, there are multiple blocks or chunks. Those are known as partitions. Partition 2, there may be many partitions. We will discuss this in detail, how many partitions we have in one hard disk in a partition video. There is also a part of your RHCSA 8. But you can think of partition are like sub blocks inside of one big block, that is hard disk. You can back up a partition, you can back up a hard disk, you can restore a hard disk. But one very important thing I want to tell you before jumping into the hacking part. So why dd is known as disk destroyer? As I already told you, we can copy the partition or hard disk. Let's say I given dd if, I given some hard disk name, of again some hard disk name, again from hard disk to hard disk I am doing copying or backup doing the backup of hard disk. So why it known as disk destroyer is, let's say this hard disk contains all your data in C drive, and this is a very new hard disk that doesn't contain anything. So all the data of C drive will go to this new hard disk. What if you given by mistake the vice versa thing? Let's say in the if you given a hard disk and OF in a old hard disk. So old hard disk contain everything in C drive, but new hard disk don't contain anything. So by mistake, if you give input file as a new hard disk that doesn't contain anything and output file as the hard disk that contain everything, it will overwrite every data in this old hard disk. It will wipe out every data. That's why it's known as disk destroyer. Now the point comes why it's known, or how we can use the dd command to do the hackings basically. So as you all know, in hard disk, or let's say in the C drive, every data of user is stored. Let's say whatever the app user is getting stored, browser is storing, and as you all know, in browser we will do sign in, and in sign in we will get option you want to save a password or not save a password, something like that. So if you click on save a password, somewhere that password will again store in your hard disk, in that C drive or in any other hard disk, and it will show in the form of cookie. Let's say your Facebook, you are logged in with your browser, and you click on the option save password, and the save password is stored in the form of token. But to store a token permanently that browser can access, we need some permanent storage, and you know permanent storage is nothing but a hard disk. So somehow if you create a copy of this hard disk, or somehow you can take a data of this hard disk to your laptop, that is nothing but a hacking directly. So let me explain you in this way. This is hard Chrome or OS1, this is OS2. This OS2 is a blank OS, OS2 is blank OS, OS1 is everything like Facebook is installed, Gmail is installed, your organization mails, you are logged in, and multiple things are stored, and you not on all of these three. Let's say on FB or Gmail, you saved your password, and that saved password is in the form of token or cookie. And that token or cookie to store, we need some permanent hard disk. That permanent hard disk stores your token or password of Facebook and Gmail. Now there is a concept in the ethical hacking. In this OS, if you create a same directory structure, and at the same place, if you place this token or this cookie on the same place, where on the same location of this OS, and if you install a browser and try to access a Facebook, try anyway, take your two laptops, one is blank, one is with FB, Gmail installed and browser installed, and save your password in the form of token or cookie, and just back up your hard disk as I'm going to show you next few minutes with our dd command, and restore that hard disk in your new OS, and same direct structure, same place. If you follow the cookie and you launch a Facebook, you don't need to log in, guys. Trust me, I'm telling, I tried this very many times. So your Facebook logged in automatically with that user that is logged in with this OS1 operating system, and it will not ask you a password. Now the question arises, how you will back up a hard disk? Why somebody will give you access? So there are many ways. Let's say somebody in the cafe or somewhere open the laptop and keep it as it is and goes for some break like that. You can attach your USB drives or the SSD drive and take the backup of this hard disk. It's very easy. You can open a command prompt, you can run a dd command, and you can take a backup, and you can come to your laptop and restore it. And on the networking also, there are some ways, like SSH is one of the way, and to scan a network there is another many tools in the Linux we're gonna discuss. So if you scan some of the vulnerable port in the host machine, and if you got the access of the root somehow, then again you can create an image of the hard disk, or I can say the C drive, and with the SSH only you can copy it to your system. Now how you will do? Let's very quickly see it. So if I do the df-ht, you will see in the down I have a SDB hard disk that is fully free, and SDA1 that contains some 1041 some MB of data. So DD, what I'm doing is input file. Let's take input file from this hard disk, or I can say partition, both are the same things. What is the difference I will tell you, and copy everything to dev SDB. Now it will like copy everything byte by byte, every metadata, every file row by row it will copy. See what it written is, it copied in this second, and only it copied 1.1 GB. Why only 1.1 GB? This hard disk, if you see, is of size this, and used is this, but available is this. So it copied every data of this hard disk. Now it's not showing you here. Why? Because inside this hard disk, again, if you talk, only 158 MB of data is used. But this is how you can create a backup of like you can clone or replica your hard disk to another hard disk and take that hard disk. In our case is SDB1, but in your case it will be your detachable hard disk or the external hard disk, and you can go to your own laptop and connect it, follow the same directory structure and install whatever the things are there in the host operating system. You can try multiple hit and try. And let's say the Facebook password is there and you just logged in with the Facebook and you don't, Facebook don't ask you password. So that's how you can hack. Another, this is a way of hacking, but another way of saving the life of admins, or I can say save the business critical workloads. So what I'm doing is, I will show you ls. There is nothing file with the .img extension. Okay, .img extension means image extension similar to ISO. Let's say you want the hard disk data that is present in this system in every 1000 system. So what you will do is if, and let's say I want the data of SDA1. You can give SDA also, but for the time saving, it will not take 7 or 8 GB, it will not copy. So I am doing SDA1, it's smaller in size. And output file I am giving harddisk.img. img is nothing but an ISO image that contains every data of SDA1. Now you can connect this hd.img in every system or in every 1000 system and restore this hard disk. How you will do this? Let me tell you. See, hd.img created here. Now let's say this you copy it and you taken in your pen drive. Now this you want to restore in some another system. So how you will do is, now in the IF input file you will take hd.img, think it like your remote system, and in the output file you have a new blank hard disk. I am again repeating, in the OF file, in the OF option, don't give the hard disk that is full of your data, otherwise it will lost all your data or wipe all your data. But what I done is hd.img I will taken a copy of hard disk and took it in my USB, and there are 1000 system. In every 1000 system I run a script that from this input file I have in every system that SDB hard disk that is new, wiped out, no data. So I am storing this data in Dave SDB. So that's how you can restore hard disk using image, and you can create image of hard disk. You can backup a partition. So all I told you, and see now if I do df-ht in the down, if you see it's mounted here and it's not showing very well data information, but this is how you can restore a hard disk, and you can create a backup of a hard disk. You can create image of hard disk. So backup, what you done is you can hack your systems, you can hack your friend systems basically, and backup a hard disk partition or hard disk fully and take that hard disk partition to your laptop and restore it, and by using cookies and token you can access their social media account. If you talk in a very similar way or in a very organization way to save the things, or in a backup form to take a backup of anything to be safe side, you can create an image of a hard disk that we discuss how to create an image of a hard disk. But if you want same data in 1000 system, how you will restore a hard disk image, that again I told you. So that's all about this video. If you like the video, subscribe the channel, like the video. If you have any doubts, post your doubts on comments or reach out to me on LinkedIn. Thank you.